And then he hits you with a step back, and then he's almost old.
Luka is crazy, man.
He's mastered at 23, 24, 25 years old.
It looks so effortless. He's definitely one of the smartest players that I've seen.
Luka, in the 5 games he's played, ladies and gentlemen, MVP numbers. He's averaging 40.
Luka Dončić has become the kind of problem NBA teams can't neutralize. A player who dismantles defensive systems and embarrasses even the most disciplined units in the league.
Luka gets it away. It's gone! A Dončić dagger! By the Lakers over the last 2 minutes to open up an 8-point lead. Dončić on the step back. Over Durant.
To go all the way. How to drive and kick it.
In the corner. Luka!
The day he carved his name into NBA history, he delivered 60 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists against the New York Knicks, the first 60, 20, 10 game the league had ever seen. The Knicks threw every coverage they had, from blitzes to hedges to late-game traps, and none of it could stop Luka. That performance didn't just break records, it sent a message.
Luka Dončić has so that he can do his job on offense while also being, at the very least, a functional part of the defense.
It's this kid, Luka Dončić. That's who it is. The rookie of the year to be.
Luka wasn't rising, he had arrived. Against the Los Angeles Clippers, they built a fortress around 2 elite perimeter defenders, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the very types of wings designed to slow down superstar scorers. Yet in the 2021 first-round series, Luka tortured them, possession after possession, culminating in a 46-point Game 7 that forced one of the league's toughest defenses into desperation mode.
I didn't try to guard everybody. He was different. It's his skill mixed with his ability to put the ball in a basket at a high rate mixed with elite IQ.
Every adjustment the Clippers made came half a beat too late. Ask any team preparing for the regular season why Luka Dončić appears at the top of every scouting report. Reason: his averages, 30-plus points, near triple-double production, and some of the highest usage efficiency in the league. These aren't empty numbers. They dictate how opponents structure their rotations, when they send help, where they shade screens, and which defenders they're willing to sacrifice. Luka doesn't outrun you. He outthinks you. He bends angles, manipulates pacing, and punishes mistakes the moment they happen. These are the traits of a future Hall of Famer, not in a distant hypothetical sense, but in the undeniable reality of what he's already done. Consistency, record-shattering performances, deep playoff duels, and year after year, his name enters the MVP race as one of the most unavoidable guards on the ballot. Before we dive deeper into why Luka Dončić is becoming the exact threat the NBA was warned about, here's one thing that matters for this channel. If you want more storytelling that brings the game to life, if you want deeper breakdowns on the next generation of basketball legends, help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers by tapping the like button, sharing the video, and hitting subscribe. Now, let's explore exactly why Luka is evolving into a force the league can't contain. Luka Dončić did not get into the NBA like most stars. He didn't come from an American high school circuit, a one-and-done college program, or a system built to showcase him. He arrived from Europe, already tested against professionals twice his age, and carrying trophies that most NBA players spend a decade chasing. Before he ever touched an NBA floor, he had already become the youngest EuroLeague MVP in history, and he won the EuroLeague championship the same season. He wasn't just competing overseas. He was dominating the second-best league in the world. So when he entered the NBA in 2018, he wasn't a rookie in the traditional sense. He was a seasoned competitor, a 19-year-old with the composure of a veteran and the instincts of someone who'd spent years studying the game at its highest level. And that's the first layer of Luka's difference. Most players learn the NBA. Luka arrived already fluent in it. You saw it instantly. His pace never matched the chaos around him. Defenders sprinted, Luka glided. Opponents jumped, Luka paused. The game followed a rhythm, and Luka played above it, controlling tempo, like a conductor leading an orchestra. From his rookie year forward, opposing coaches began noticing something unsettling. Luka wasn't reacting to defenses, he was predicting them. Recognizing coverages before they formed, manipulating rotations before they shifted, punishing traps before they sprung. The league has explosive athletes, dazzling scorers, and defensive specialists. But players who can read the game at Luka's level, at his age, on his stage, are almost non-existent. It's why the Clippers struggled to figure him out. Why the Warriors adjust their coverage when he steps over half court. Why the Lakers, even with Anthony Davis patrolling the paint, know he can bend their defense with a single hesitation. There's a reason Hall of Fame conversations surround him long before his résumé is finished. Luka doesn't dominate with raw athleticism, he dominates with control. He is the rare player who defeats opponents not by being faster, but by being earlier. Not by jumping higher, but by knowing exactly where you will land. And that makes him one of the most dangerous offensive engines the NBA has seen in decades.
He's one of the best players in the world.
There are scorers in the NBA you can prepare for. You can study their tendencies, memorize their favorite spots, practice the angles, run the drills. But Luka Dončić is different, because Luka doesn't just take what defenders give him. He takes what they don't even know they're about to give. Every defender learns this the hard way. Take the Clippers, for example. They threw two of the best perimeter defenders of this generation, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, at him. These are players who swallow up scorers, players who turn offensive stars into frustrated shadows of themselves. But against Luka, they found themselves guessing instead of reacting. He'd lure them into thinking he was going left, only to slow the game to a crawl and pivot into a step-back three. He'd slip between double teams with footwork so deliberate it made defenders hesitate. A single pause, a single lean, and suddenly Kawhi or George were recovering half a second too late. Defenders fear Luka because he doesn't attack with explosiveness, he attacks with deception.
Again, good answer. 9-0 run by the Lakers over the last 2 minutes to open up an 8-point lead. Dončić on the step back, over Durant.
And deception is harder to contain than speed. Ask the Phoenix Suns, who watched him tear apart their defensive schemes in the 2022 playoffs. Every possession was a puzzle he already had the answer to. They blitzed him, he found the open man. They switched, he hunted the mismatch. They sagged, he punished them with the step back. He turned a Western Conference powerhouse into a team that looked unsure of what game they were even playing.
Double on Luka, looking for a place to go. Finds Green, who attacked the pass. Handoff back to Luka, late in the shot clock. 4 seconds, got it from Kleba, again late in the clock. In desperation,
and then there's Luka's pace, the part defenders hate most. There's never a rush, never panic. He dribbles like time is bending around him, slowing down for him, and speeding up for everyone else. Even defenders with elite foot speed find themselves lunging, reaching, fouling, because Luka has conditioned them to react to a rhythm he controls. This is why coaches design entire defensive structures around him. This is why even elite defenders come out of games shaking their heads. This is why veteran analysts say Luka makes defenses look like they're underwater. There's also his physical strength, something that gets overlooked. He's bigger than he looks, stronger than defenders expect. When he seals a defender on his hip, the possession is over. When he posts up a guard, the shot is inevitable. When he drives into the lane, defenders bounce off him like he's anchored to the floor. And then, step back, his signature move. Slow, long, measured, but impossible to predict. He gathers with the same posture whether he's shooting, passing, or faking, which means defenders must defend everything at once. Many know it's coming and still can't stop it. That's why defenders fear Luka Dončić. Not because he jumps higher, runs faster, or plays harder, but because he makes them feel like they're being controlled, manipulated, and read like open books. When a player forces elite defenders into desperation, panic, and hesitation, that's when you know he's not just skilled, he's dangerous. Long before Luka Dončić became the centerpiece of highlight reels, before the 40-point triple-doubles, before the playoff chaos he now casually orchestrates, the warning signs were already there. Not subtle signs, not quiet signs, blaring alarms that the league somehow shrugged off. The first warning came in Madrid when he was still a teenager playing grown man basketball in the EuroLeague, the second best league in the world. At 18, he wasn't just surviving, he was dominating. MVP, Final Four MVP, EuroLeague champion, the kind of resume usually built over a decade, Luka completed before most prospects finished prom. Executives whispered about it. Scouts mentioned it. They said, if this kid is even 70% of what he is overseas, the league is in trouble.
If Nico Harrison today called up Pelinka and said, hey, I'll give you Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg for Luka, Rob Pelinka would say no.
But then came the dismissals. He's not athletic enough. He's too slow. He won't get those shots off in the NBA. He's playing against Europeans, not NBA defenders. The league had been warned and chose to ignore the file. Then came the draft. Teams watched clips of Luka carving up Olympiacos, Fenerbahce, CSKA Moscow, veteran-laden squads full of former NBA defenders. And somehow, the conversation became about upside and athletic ceilings. While some teams were chasing potential, Luka was already producing historic reality. The NBA ignored this warning too. And when Dallas handed him the ball as a rookie, the next warning came fast.
Luka Dončić is the best player in this series. Period.
21 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Day 1, at 19. This wasn't development, it was arrival. But perhaps the clearest warning sign of all came during the 2020 and 2021 playoffs against the Clippers. A young player isn't supposed to torch the best perimeter defenders of a generation in back-to-back years. A young player isn't supposed to outthink veterans, manipulate double teams, or hit dagger shots in hostile arenas with superstar composure. Yet Luka stepped into those series like a player with nothing to prove and everything already earned.
He's the closest thing we've seen to Larry Bird.
One moment stands above the rest. The overtime dagger in Game 4 over Reggie Jackson with Kawhi Leonard rotating late. The step-back three that froze an entire arena, a moment instantly replayed 1,000 times. That shot wasn't upset. It was a proclamation. The NBA had been warned. And still, somehow, people clung to excuses. He'll hit a wall. He needs more experience. The game will catch up to him. But the opposite happened. Luka caught up to the game, passed it, and now drags it forward at his own pace.
22 years old, second time in the playoffs, and busting their living you-know-what.
Then came the 2024 Finals run, the one many still try to downplay. Look at the roster. Look at the odds. Look at the teams he went through. Luka didn't have a super team. He had a belief that he could bend the game around him to the point where super team rules didn't apply. And for a moment he did. Fast forward to now. 40-point triple-doubles. Unstoppable pick-and-roll orchestration. Record-breaking scoring stretches. A pace of production that mirrors peak LeBron, peak Harden, and early Jordan all at once, but with Luka's own signature improvisation. The warning the NBA ignored is now undeniable. You can't game plan for a player who rewrites the game in real time. He doesn't fit the mold. He breaks the mold. And the league, once skeptical, now sees the truth. Luka Dončić is not becoming a problem. He is the problem. And every contender knows it. Every generation of basketball has a moment, a shift, when the game quietly changes hands. A moment when the old guard begins to fade, and a new force steps forward to reshape the league's identity. We've seen these transitions before. Magic and Bird rescued the league. Jordan defined the 90s. Kobe bridged the gap. LeBron carried the torch for 2 decades. Now the NBA stands at the doorway of its next great era. And whether people like it or not, Luka Dončić is pushing that door wide open. Because Luka isn't just a great player, he represents a new kind of superstar. He isn't built on vertical explosion. He isn't molded from the athletic prototype the league traditionally worships. He's built on mastery, mastery of pace, mastery of detail, mastery of decision-making. This is why people call him a basketball genius without irony. This is why coaches shake their heads during film sessions. This is why defenders say things like, you can't teach what he does, and you can't guard it either. Era Luka is creating is one where brains beat biomechanics, where IQ overpowers explosiveness, where skill defines dominance more than sprint speed or wingspan, and the ripple effect is already visible. Young players are studying Luka's footwork. Prospects are practicing hesitation pacing, deceleration, misdirection. Kids on playgrounds are trying his step back before they try to dunk. He's altering the way the next generation thinks about the game. But Luka's era is about more than influence. It's about inevitability. Look at the numbers. Multiple seasons opening with MVP-level production. Historic scoring stretches. Triple-doubles that come so easily they barely make headlines anymore. Playoff performances that would define most players' careers, yet barely scratch the surface of what he still has left to offer. This is not a player with a moment. This is a player with a movement. And with stars aging, fading into twilight, with the league searching for a new face to carry it forward, the spotlight is slowly, inevitably shifting. Giannis and Jokic stand as titans of their own. Wemby arrives with a new kind of promise. But Luka occupies a rare space. A player who controls every possession like a conductor leading an orchestra, every movement part of a vision only he can see. When you watch Luka play, it doesn't feel like today's game. It feels like a preview of tomorrow's. And this is the part the league is beginning to understand. Luka is not just competing for MVPs. He's redefining what MVP basketball looks like. He's not just chasing championships. He's laying the blueprint for how modern stars will win them. The era he is creating is one where offense becomes an art form. Playmaking becomes a weapon as deadly as scoring. Pace becomes a tool, not a limit. And the game bends not around athletic supremacy, but around basketball intelligence. Luka's era will not be built on highlight dunks or viral blocks. It will be built on mastery, the slow knife that cuts deeper than the fast one. And the scariest part? He's 26, which means the era is not coming. It's already here. In the end, it wasn't the 40-point triple-doubles, or the playoff explosions, or the step-back threes that floated over elite defenders like a slow-motion dagger. No, the moment Luka Dončić became the exact threat the NBA was warned about was the moment he put on the Lakers jersey. Because that trade wasn't just a transaction, it was a shift in the balance of power. For years, Luka had done the impossible in Dallas, dragging underdog rosters deep into playoffs, breaking statistical models, and giving the league headaches it wasn't ready for. He carried a franchise to the finals that, on paper, had no business being there. He delivered nights, legendary nights, that players spend entire careers chasing. 60, 21, 10 against the Knicks. A 35-35 triple-double at age 21. Clippers playoff battles that shook two superstars. Nights where he scored or assisted on over 300 points in a 5-game stretch. He did all this with a smile that said, I know something you don't. But now he's doing it with the weight of NBA history behind him. Now he's backed by a franchise built on banners, pressure, and expectation. Now he steps onto the court wearing a jersey once worn by Magic, Kobe, LeBron. A jersey that amplifies everything. The spotlight, the fear, the legacy, the stakes. This is what the league didn't want. Because Luka Dončić with structure is dangerous. Luka Dončić with shooters is unpredictable. But Luka Dončić with institutional firepower, with global branding, with a front office willing to go all in, that is the nightmare scenario. Other teams know it. You can feel it. Defenders no longer talk about containing Luka. They talk about surviving Luka. Coaches no longer say, make him take tough shots. They say, pray he misses. Rival front offices look at this version of the Lakers and see something they hoped would never happen. A generational offensive genius paired with a franchise designed to weaponize one. The Mavericks got the #1 pick. The Lakers got a decade of dominance. In the end, everyone got what they deserved. And the league? It now has to deal with a player who was already a problem before he had the machine of Los Angeles behind him. A player who was already a top 5 force before he had athletes running the floor for him, rim protectors behind him, and a city that turns stars into planets. Now the player teams feared most has become the star markets feared most. On the franchise championships fear most. This is a Luka becoming great. This is Luka becoming inevitable. And every game, every step back, every no-look dime, every impossible bucket is a reminder that the warning signs weren't just ignored, they were invited. Because this is what happens when you underestimate a prodigy, disrespect a résumé, and overlook the future right in front of you. Luka Dončić is not rising. He has risen. And the era he is about to define will force the league to confront something it hoped would never be true. So if you've made it this far, if you love Luka's rise, if you want more stories on Wemby, Edwards, Luka, Shai, Jokic, and the next wave of NBA giants, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and share this with another basketball fan who needs to hear the truth. Your support isn't just a number. It's the fuel that allows us to keep producing deep dive, storytelling documentaries on the future of basketball. This is the beginning. This is the movement. This is the era. And Luka Dončić is leading it.